How you doing, everybody? My name is Octavius Savon Blount. I'm the coordinator for the Mayor's Office of Black Male Engagement. We're here with another Spotlight series. We have a special guest here today, and his name is Dr. Hite. He's going to talk to us a little bit about what he does, how does he impact black boys in this city, and also black men in this city as well, and also what kind of advice can he give myself and other young men that are watching here today. So, Dr. Hite, how are you?
I'm great, thanks, and glad to be here.
I'm glad that you got here because it's very special to talk to you whenever I get the chance to, because you're a man that is a power in this city. So thank you for opening up your schedule to be able to talk to me.
My pleasure.
If you can talk a little bit about who you are, like without the title of superintendent, they could say, who is Dr. Hite? What kind of person would they say you are?
They would say I am a father,
Mm-hmm.
a brother,
Mm-hmm.
a son, a husband,
Mm-hmm.
a grandfather
Okay.
of a black boy. I am a individual who is that has faith.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an individual who cares about our youth,
Okay.
and an individual who will do whatever is possible to ensure that all of our young men of color
Mm-hmm.
and our black boys have
Mm-hmm.
what they need in order to be successful.
Okay. I like that you put a lot of emphasis on a black boy as far as your grandson. With that, with your trajectory, because I know you were a teacher, principal, assistant superintendent.
Yeah.
How did that trajectory as a black man being in those spaces? Did you feel like you had the idea of being in the trenches with the students, understanding what's going on with them, to the role that you have now? Did you lose that, or did it heighten what you have right now? No pun on your name.
Yeah, no pun intended, and none taken. So I do think that every one of those experiences
Mm-hmm.
allowed me to learn how to do this work more effectively,
Okay.
and so that we're actually achieving the things we're trying to achieve with
Mhm.
respect to children learning
Yeah.
and growing up to be members of society that are contributing,
Mm-hmm.
members either to the economy or to the location.
Mhm.
And so I've learned at every step of the way. So
Yeah.
as a teacher, naturally you talk with students directly.
Mm-hmm.
I also coached.
Okay.
As a coach, I talked and mentored students directly. And now, in every level,
Mhm.
so whether I was a principal
Mhm.
or a central office administrator,
Mhm.
even a superintendent, and so I still teach classes, and I've taught a class at Constitution High School
Okay.
for Black History Week, and
Okay.
and just 2 days ago,
Mhm.
I had the final meeting of the superintendent's student advisory
Okay.
group, and I meet with that group several times a year,
Mhm.
and that group comes from all high schools,
Mhm.
district and charter, and their sole purpose is to give me advice.
Okay.
And it's to give me advice so I never lose their voice
Mhm.
in the considerations that we're making about the things that young people need. And
Mhm.
so it's easy in this role because as you move up into the hierarchy of educational systems,
Yeah.
you could move further and further away from young
Mhm.
people.
Yeah.
And it's really important to continue to engage young people
Mhm.
in any way you can. And I choose to do that in multiple ways, both by visiting schools, teaching classes, and having an advisory group.
Okay. Now I know you said you have an advisory group that has youth on it. A lot of people, came across that said you can't make a decision about youth without the youth. And I like the fact that you have an advisory board that can, give you advice on,
Sure.
what do the students want? What are they saying about what's going on in schools? So you can know.
Right.
So also you can, put things in place, put programs in place to, support them the way that you want to be, that you would like to be supported.
Yeah, and they're very active. I mean,
Mhm.
it's not, we just don't listen to them. They
Yeah.
actually advise us on the formation of policies.
Okay.
They helped us rewrite our code of student conduct. They looked at the technology that they were going to be exposed to.
Yeah.
And we have something called acceptable use, and
Okay.
whether children can use their phones in schools and for what
Yeah.
purpose.
Yeah.
They actually helped us write that. They helped
Mhm.
us write our LGBTQ
Mm-hmm.
policy.
Okay.
They were very active in that, and they
Mhm.
advised us on where to make an emphasis
Mhm.
in our budget. and they talk about their needs, and they talk about the need for more counselors, and they talked about the need for nurses in every school. They also talked about the restoration of things like art and music and extracurricular activities, because as from their voice, those are things that represent school for them, not just the straight academics, but those other extracurricular opportunities as well.
Okay.
Yeah. But you don't get that if you don't talk to them.
That's true.
And
That's true.
everybody represents what they think the students want, but the only way to really know what the young people want is to talk to them.
Okay. I know we talked about the different roles that you've had getting to this place that you are. Being in this place, this position that you're in, I know I said that I look to you as a black male leader in this city. With that role of being superintendent, and a black man, how do you think that ignites the work that you do when you see other young black men wanting to learn, wanting to have their voices heard? How does that ignite the work that you do?
Well, I mean, it's the reason I do the work that I do. And it is to ignite not just the young black men and the black boys, but all of the other children that are students in the school district of Philadelphia. And it's why we do the work. Hopefully, those young people will see me as an individual that will then communicate a message to them that they too can become superintendent of the school district of Philadelphia. And I would love for them to be thinking of their futures that way. I wasn't thinking about my future that way. I, like a lot of other black boys growing up in the South, wanted to be a professional football player. And that's what I wanted to do, or basketball, or whatever it was. And as I learned more about opportunities, then it was really incumbent upon me to take advantage of those opportunities, and one just led to another. But it's because I had other black individuals who were educators who were also helping me, and other role models and individuals who mentored me both professionally and personally.
Okay. Now I know you said you've had men in your life. I don't know if they were all black men. They could have been, but with that being said, that you had black men to look to, this is the portion where you provide wisdom to myself and the young men that are watching, that will watch this. What 3 pieces of advice could you give myself and other black men to navigate this world that we live in?
Yeah, so a couple of things. I mean, I think that one thing that resonated with me is I'm a big Michael Eric Dyson fan, and and he talked about this several years ago, and I actually took heed on some of his comments, and it was actually 3 things, and these are, and I'm using his things, but it's not going to be an exact quote, but it's something along these lines. I mean, it's as black men and young black boys, we need to learn to love ourselves, right? And we need to learn to love ourselves by getting in touch with our history, our culture, our sense of identity, and who we are, because it will help us know ourselves. And in order to love ourselves, we have to know ourselves, and that's really important advice that I give to a lot of young people. The second one is really to connect to a calling or tradition much larger than you. Right? And it could be spiritual, it could be financial, it could be literary, it could be the arts or the music, but it's really to connect to something much larger. And then the final thing is just some advice I give to individuals, just that I had to take advantage of opportunities. I want young people, and particularly our young men of color, to take advantage of the opportunities that we are providing to connect with their gifts and talents, as opposed to their loss and grief. And if in fact they're connecting to their gifts and talents, they're experiencing success in a very different way. And I want our young people to take advantage of that. That's why we have media studios in their schools. That's why we have opportunities for children to make beats and record things, because we want them to connect with things that are of interest to them. That's why we're expanding career and technical education.
Yeah.
We want our young people to take advantage of those opportunities to connect to their talents and gifts.
Okay. I'm really glad that you provided those 3 pieces of advice, because a lot of young men don't know how to love themselves. They don't know how to love themselves because they may not see it. So hopefully when they watch this, they'll see that and be able to ask that question, do I love myself?
Indeed.
How can I love myself? So I want to thank you for coming in and actually, talking about yourself, not with the superintendent hat on, but you were being you. And I'm glad that you were able to do that today, and I appreciate you.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. I want to say, check us out on our next Spotlight series. You can check us out on Facebook and Instagram at OBME PHL, and also YouTube as well. Have a blessed day.